competition. Yesterday, the men competed in the qualifying and final rounds. Today, it's the turn of the women. But as usual, we have our Boulder Wall in action. 4 routes ahead of us and 15 athletes vying for just 6 finals places. As you can see from the shots here on screen, it is a spectacular event with an incredible backdrop of sandstone mountains, but the climbing is our main focus. World-class athletes competing on this stage, and you guys watching at home following all the action. Hello, my name is Matt Groom, and welcome to the women's qualifiers, and good morning to you. Now, what is bouldering, you may ask? Well, it can be quite complicated, and we've got a different set of rules, but don't worry, we've made a video to tell you all about it.
This is how it all works. In qualifying, the competitors have 5 minutes to take on each of the 4 boulders. The goal is to accumulate points. It's 10 points for reaching a zone and 30 points max if you make the top. 1 point is deducted for each subsequent attempt. The athletes' totals are added up, with the top competitors proceeding to the final. All 4 boulders are reset for a brand new challenge, and the competitors have 2 2-minute slots to take on each boulder. After boulder 3, the field is cut, leaving those in good contention for a podium spot to take on boulder 4. It is simple. Our amazing athletes take on these 4 boulders, and the most points wins. Sounds easy, it's not, but that's why we love it.
Well, there you go, a bit of a different format if you're used to World Cups and World Championship style events, but the principle is simple. The athletes have to climb the boulder problems as quickly as possible, and there are 15 athletes who have come here to the desert to compete, and we'll show you that list in a minute, but some pretty exciting competitors amongst them, including the past champion from NEOM last year. That's our boulder wall, speed wall next to it, and speed wall will be in action tomorrow from the evening. So let's have a look at the starting list, shall we? I mentioned some big names on it, and the biggest really, Evgenia Kazbekova, the champion from last year, returns to the desert from Ukraine, but also keep an eye on Mao Nakamura and Agathe Calais, both of those regular World Cup competitors, and Agathe especially, after podiuming at the European Champs, is one to watch. And then as we go down our list, in a similar way to the men's yesterday, we have athletes from some lesser-known countries on the IFSC circuit, and also Agnese Fiorio down at the bottom there. She's usually a speed climber, although she is a very good boulder as well, so fantastic to have her competing, and she will be coming out into this field to try to get one of those final places. So that is our stage. You can see the climbing wall at the back of the arena, the black tents, that's where everyone is sleeping. And on the right of your screen, there's the catering area, a fire pit where there's movies are shown. And throughout the day and into the night, there's lots of activities, including stargazing, there's yoga. And I'm joined once again by James, the Cambodian coach, who's just joining me in the commentary box. So he'll be chatting through some coaching tips and, of course, his experience of Cambodian climbing and the rest. So he's just getting himself ready. In fact, I think he is ready. He's turned up with a banana, a coffee. James, how you doing this morning, sir?
Feeling good. Nice big thermos of coffee. Got my banana. I'm ready.
It's set. You're pretty much athletic here at the commentary box.
Well, just beforehand, I was out on the mats checking out the routes a little bit closer up. And as I walked off, one of the judges said, "Are you ready?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm ready to go."
Well, we are all ready, in fact, and I think our first athlete is waiting somewhere behind that white arch. Just another shot to show this desert, and those towers are spectacular. Rise out of the sand, which is red as well, and from as far as the eye can see, they stretch into the distance. If you're thinking this is a beach games, like the NEOM Beach Games, there are some events that are down by the beach, but we're in the desert. Okay, time to take on Boulder 1, number 1. Mao Nakamura is waiting in the wings. And there she is, about to be announced. And James, I mean, this lady, we've seen her compete at the highest levels of World Cup. She is definitely a favourite for the finals.
Absolutely, she is. But, you know, I mean, harkening back to the men's yesterday, we had another Japanese guy who was favourite for the finals as well. And you never know what's going to happen in a boulder comp.
Exactly. Sota Amagasa is the person you're talking about. And don't worry, we won't give away spoilers quite yet. We might by this evening. No, don't worry, you didn't do anything wrong, James. But by this evening, we're definitely going to. So catch up by then. Okay, slabby start for Mao as she gets stood up, and some blocked footholds, which is kind of unusual. You don't usually see that.
I quite like it, actually. It's a smart move on the outsider's part to, force you to be really precise. This camera inside the clear holds, really clever. I love how the camera guys get clever about these things.
Yes, it's new for this comp. It's been talked about for a while, so thank you, team, for pulling that one off. Mao on her flash go, eyeing up the final hold, one hand on, nice and simple, and that will be the maximum 30 points for her. Remember, as we said in the explainer, 10 points for the zone, 30 points for flashing the boulder, and then minus 1 point for every fall the athletes take. So a quick one for Mao, easy in with a 25. And James, we did see some, maybe the round last night a little bit too easy, and I do wonder whether the setters might have tweaked things a bit today.
Well, one of the things that you find when you're doing competition setting that's different from kind of average gym setting is that the route setters are trying to force people off the wall, but not everyone off the wall. So they have to make it possible for people to climb it, but they also have to try to thin out the field. So finding that exact difficulty level where you're still going to have people able to climb it, but you're going to knock off everyone else, it's really, really challenging.
Fine line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I do find in the middle of a competition, especially when we run comps at our gym, our route setters are watching what's going on in the qualifying round, they're watching what's going on in the semifinal round, and then they're saying, oh, okay, this year everybody's kind of at this level, and they might adjust their finals to that. I wonder if the route setters didn't adjust their finals as much as they might have.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if those adjustments are made. We'll have to wait and see. We will be showing you some action from the last couple of days as well. But right now, this is how the format works. So we need to play out the clock.
It's good to give every athlete the same amount of
Let me stop you there, James, because what we're going to see is we're going to watch the men's highlights from last night. So for any of you who missed it, you're about to see a bit of a spoiler, but here's what happened in the evening. And as you can see, the light show came on here in the desert. And as we were mentioning, lots of flashes early on, James, especially with this boulder number 1.
Yeah, lots of flashes on boulder number 1. I was watching with my Cambodian athletes, and they were like, oh, I could have done that one.
Yeah. And then moving on through the round, the slab was a little bit more difficult for this gentleman here from Malaysia, but everyone else coped with it well. But the final boulder was the exciting one. New school coordination moves, a spin, a twist, a land, and then a triple paddle dyno thingy to the top. And coming out on top, Ireland there. And of course, there we are, our top 3. Manu Cornu taking the victory here in the desert. Nimrod in second, and then Michael in third. So that was our top 3. So there we go. We didn't spoil it, James. Someone else did.
No,
so that's okay.
And that's right. If the route setters did get any flack for the first couple of routes, being a little too flashable, that route number 4 really made up for it. I think everyone in the audience was right on the edge of their seats. And I tell you what, Nimrod, with a fantastic performance, getting that move, that coordination move, almost, I think, on his first go, that first jump twist through. And I mean, diabolical from the route setters. A 180 twist into the boulder and a 180 twist up the boulder. Though, worth pointing out, Michael, our Irish athlete, completely beta braking by staying face into the wall throughout, which was a really cool move.
Yeah, it is. I love your use of diabolical there. Fantastic words. Well, this is the bird's eye perspective of the camp itself. And if you missed my explanation, well, on the left, the black tents, they are the sleeping quarters, showers and toilets and stuff down the edge. You then make your way into the main arena. On the top of your screen, that's where the fire pit catering is, which has got a coffee machine that's never switched off, which I'm very happy about, thank goodness. You then make your way down into the arena, and this is backstage. Now, 2 legends, Agat Calais on the right-hand side, Genia Kazbekova on the left. And I did, as you guys know, I'm a bit of a tattoo aficionado, and that tattoo on Genia's left arm is a henna tattoo, although frankly she should get that tattoo because it looks sick. But yeah. Just because I've got a reputation.
One of the many activities here in the desert, the henna, the calligraphy, stargazing, it's really exciting.
Can I get a henna tattoo then?
Yeah.
Can I?
I think so.
I did not know this. I need to do that a little bit. I think I need to go find some. Okay, well the buzzer's gone. We've got a 8-second transition time, and then who's going to come next. Agathe Calais is going to come on next. There she is. And this lady has been coming for a while on the podium for the European champs, starting to make more regular finals. So here she goes, easily pulling onto the slab, and the French, as we know, are so good at slab climbing, and I'm expecting Agathe to cruise this.
Yeah, I would expect so. I mean, when you live that close to Fontainebleau, some of the best slab climbing, slab bouldering in the world, hopefully you get some practice on it.
Absolutely. Well, she comes through our hold cam, transitions past that hold.
Yeah, worth pointing out, these 3 holds have 0 texture on them at all. It's not even dual text, it's just 0 texture.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's got that little bubble of what looks like friction, but there is no friction.
Yeah, that bubble is actually on the inside of the hold. They molded it off of a dual text hold, so the dual texture on the inside is there, but the outside's completely smooth.
Again, I think he's looking out to see Manu Cornu, who wandered in what looked like pajamas this morning.
His pants are very... I hope at some point a cameraman gets his pants, because they're very cool. They're like a patchwork denim thing.
Yes.
I complimented him this morning at coffee on his pants.
Well, this is how Agathe did it. Super smooth. It's just worth watching her knee. She down climbed this boulder and looked a little bit tentative as she walked off. I'm sure it's not a problem, but there is some tape on it. It was just the way she moved.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh.
Her ankle as well. I mean, it's a high wall. We're talking 5 meters here to jump down onto those mats. It's not very forgiving to the knees, so definitely worth a down climb if you can. At least for someone my age, it's definitely worth a down climb.
If you say that, I'm in huge trouble then. I need to be very careful. Yeah, that was how she did it. Came down and had a little look out to the audience. A good word from her. Well, listen, I said this is part of a multi-sport event, so let's show you some highlights from some of the other sports that's been going on. Of course, our focus is the climbing competition itself, and here we are in the desert with the sun behind, and that's the scores currently. So just to explain this, the yellow box fills all the way up for a top, fills halfway up for a zone. Zone is worth 10 points. The maximum score is worth 30 points if you get to the final hold. You've got to control that, so 2 hands on it and show the judges control, and you get -1 point for every fall. But James, yesterday we saw Michael and Sotta basically flashing everything up until, what, the last bouldering finals?
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not sure what I'm allowed to spoil and what I'm not allowed to
spoil.
spoil.
Well, I think we can spoil it now. We
saw the podium, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Sotta flashing everything until that very last boulder. And, you know, I was chatting with my athletes afterwards, just doing a little bit of, okay, from a sports psychology perspective, what did you notice? What went well? What went wrong? And, you know, as Sotta came into dinner, he was, you could tell he was beating himself up a little bit. This morning, he's much better spirits. He's here having a good time. And, you know, these athletes are all world-class, top-notch athletes. So I think having a Hungarian fella, Nimrod,
yes,
in the silver, which, if I'm not mistaken, that's his first.
Yes, it was
medal
first senior medal,
yeah.
And I just want to explain something. We saw a shot there of Agathe looking at her phone. Now, listen, usually at IFSC events, phones are taken away from isolation areas. Here, the format is different. The athletes are shown videos of the boulders. They're allowed to look at that throughout the competition. They're even allowed to come into the audience, watch other people climb them. So the reason that we see, there we go, Agathe on her phone is because she's checking out the beta for the next boulder.
Yes.
Now, whether you like this format or not, it's intriguing. And especially in the finals, where we saw athletes watching other athletes and then changing their beta.
The 2-minute on, 2-minute off format. They still get a full 4 minutes to climb, but they come on for 2 minutes, and if they don't make it, they can sit off and watch as other athletes have an attempt and then go back. And it's a really intriguing format. I think for a lot of us, it was a bit jarring. It kind of threw us off what we're used to. But at that final boulder, that's when the excitement of that format really came in. Because all of a sudden, guys were going on, coming off, going on, coming off, and it was a little bit more like a boulder session in a gym.
Yes, that's a very good way to describe it, actually, James, yeah. And it sort of brought that community spirit into the sport, which we know is there already, but it just added to it. Okay, next rotation, and we're going to see 2 boulders at this point. Mao Nakamura is back on, and who have we got here? We've got Genya, yes, Kazbekova waiting as well. But she turned up fairly late to that. I didn't know she was actually coming, and then I sort of did a double take yesterday at dinner and saw her. But she's the defending champion.
She is. There's a few athletes who came quite late. Our Saudi Arabian athlete, who we'll see later on, she actually only got in last night at midnight.
Oh, goodness. Horrendous. Well, there is Genya. as we know, she's an Olympian, regular on the World Cup scene, and she's pulling onto the slab. Again, I would expect her to do this pretty quick. She's very good at slabs.
Yeah, so far 2 flashes. So we'll see if we get a third.
It's interesting the hand sequence through here. I was trying to figure it out how I would do it. I was thinking there'd be a bit of a weird cross in the middle, but Jenya does it very nicely without that. And she's easily through into the no text. Careful with her feet. It's the top hole.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, it's an interesting, I was watching the brushers brushing the no text holds yesterday, and I thought, huh. Because you know, the chalk won't stick to it. So then there's this question of how much chalk do you want to put on your hands, you know, and as you're going, if you need grip on that hold, it's actually better without chalk.
Yeah.
It creates an interesting. I believe is that a flash?
That is a flash for Mao, yeah.
Mao, yeah.
The style changes on boulder number 2, more of a power boulder, but Mao looking like she used about 4% of her power available. So.
Yeah. The corner on boulder number 1 it's not a terribly blind corner, but it is a bit of a, you have to lean out just a bit to see around it. And then boulder number 2, we're doing the opposite. It's a concave, you know, we're coming from inside the wall and pushing out.
Yes, this wall is pretty interesting actually. It's small, but it does pack a punch because you've got, I think, what's a 60-degree roof down on the right, a nice slab on the left. It allows the roof setters plenty of interesting variance to it, even though it's not the longest I've ever seen.
Yeah, I checked in with EP on it. It is a miniature version of the Titan boulder, that they use at the Olympics. It's not the full length, but it has the same features, or some of the same features as the Titan boulder.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Who's your EP contact? This is
Terry.
There we go.
He's EP's Southeast Asia contact.
Man in the know on the right of me.
Yeah.
He's on it. I've only got my French contacts, so I couldn't ring them up. Well, this is the scoreboard. Mao obviously out in front because she's done 2 boulders. Agat and Jenya easily in touch, of course, without that. Next athletes will be it'll be Canadian athlete, won't it? Yes.
Oh yeah, Evangelina. Yeah.
Who's been on my radar for quite a long time, actually. She's I've had family members messaging me for years about this lady.
Oh really?
Yeah, talking about how she's one to watch and up and coming. So I can't wait to see her compete. Actually.
I would agree. I was watching her in the warm-up area yesterday during the training session, and quite impressed. And also, she's just a fantastic girl. I mean, as a Canadian, I don't live in Canada anymore, so I don't track so well with the Canadian athletes. But I met her in the food tent and got chatting. You know, we're from similar areas of the country.
Yeah.
And just a fantastic lady. So happy to see her coming out in fourth qualification. So
yeah, she's done well. The ranking is based on world ranking, and we're just watching some highlights from Jenya. And James, it's interesting you mentioned being Canadian, because before you came on, I was talking about you being a Cambodian coach. So go on, give us your life story a bit on that one.
Well, the short version is I was born in 1989, and then
maybe shorter.
Shorter than that? Okay. My wife and I moved to Cambodia in 2021, and we got to know the climbing community, got to know the scene, and found out Siem Reap, the city we live in, actually didn't really have an actual climbing gym, like an equipped climbing gym, and so got working with the athletes there on the idea of building one, and we did. We started building it. Unfortunately, right now it's kind of on hold. We were self-funding, and I went over budget a couple of times, and so now we've had to stall for nearly a year. We've been on hold actually on that project, and we're doing some fundraising, some crowdfunding, bringing in that last little bit we need. Hopefully we can restart construction in the new year. But we also own the climbing gym in Phnom Penh, which is the capital city.
Fantastic. Yeah, I was saying when you talked about this yesterday how much I now want to come to Cambodia. I've done most of the other Southeast Asian countries, but not Cambodia, so I might have to trip over.
We're not known for our climbing scene. It's a very, very flat country. A lot of rice fields. James,
you've got to sell it more than this.
But every once in a while, I'm getting there.
Okay.
Every once in a while, you're driving along a rice field, and then this big random limestone thing pops up out of the rice fields, and it's full of little cracks and crevices and caves inside, and that's actually probably most of our best climbing is inside these limestone massifs that they're not terribly tall, but when you go in, you find all these tufa-esque overhanging climbs that all kind of work towards each other in the roof.
And they're bolted, are they?
A lot of them are bolted, yeah. So Japanese mountaineering societies sent a lot of aid in the early 2000s through 2014 They still do come. Actually, one of my friends, Asai, he owns a gym in Sapporo. He's coming down in January to do some more crag development. So,
oh, you've sold me.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
Play ticket. Right, next two athletes are out. Evangelina, the lady we were talking about from Canada on the right, and Agat is coming out onto boulder number 2. And again, Agat with her quality and form at the moment, I would expect boulder 2 to go quite quickly. But Evangelina, haven't seen her on the World Cup circuit for a while. She's just 18, 7 participations. It'll be interesting to see. I think this is really where we get to see how hard or not these routes are.
Yeah, we're getting down towards the athletes that aren't necessarily the favorites to win, so we'll start to see a little bit more spread in the field.
Gat's got to get this done quick, though. Nice bump out with that right hand. It's powerful, that. Good finger strength required. And then the palm to the right. She wants to bring that foot up. Looked at her hand to bring her foot all the way straight to her hand, but decided to go lower. Yeah. Stop inside, quick work
and the top. And the face out for the crowd. Why not? Come on.
I'd love to know who. I think she's talking to Matt.
Probably, yeah. She's talking to somebody.
Have a look at Boulder 3 on the way out, but quick work. Right, Evangelina, let's see what she does. Grabs some chalk of her shorts there as she comes over to the right.
Still on her flash attempt, if I'm not mistaken, so this is good. Yeah, that's exactly. Smearing their chalk off of her hands, because now she's looking at no texture hold. She's a little concerned about it, you can tell. But her feet were great, no stress. There's the top.
Yeah, so to explain that for people who don't get it, the no-text hold weirdly work less well with chalk on your hands. So that's fine if it's a pure no-text boulder, because you can start with no chalk. But when it's mixed like this, you kind of want to get some chalk off your hands. That's what she was doing by rubbing it on the wall. It's a weird one, I know.
Yeah.
Although the Japanese team, they chalk up.
Yeah, I think at a certain point, you know, grip strength. If you can pinch the thing, it doesn't really matter how slippery your hands are. If you can pinch the heck out of it, you've got the grip.
It's very true. Let's talk about conditions briefly here, just because I've started to sweat. It's warmer today.
It is warmer today.
There's no breeze, I think.
There's less breeze, that's for sure. The wind, the flags were really flapping yesterday when we were here, and today not so much. The sun is on us. It's not on the wall yet, but it's on the mats in the corner already.
Yeah, you can just feel the temperature rising. I mean, the difference in temperature is really interesting. Like last night, for example, wasn't particularly cold. And I think that's set the tone for today. It's going to be a baking one. So, I mean, for the athletes who are coming out first, world ranking is fairly important because they're going to get the best conditions.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think it's, the humidity is very low, which is why it's so cold at night and so hot during the day. It's really not about humidity, it's just the sun. So as long as they're in the shade, the conditions shouldn't change that much.
True, good point.
But that little bit sometimes makes a difference.
Yes, we'll have to wait and see. But you're right about the humidity. It's a good point, James. It's so dry here. I mean, you don't want to know this. My lips are so dry all the time.
Yeah.
It's one of those conditions. But yeah, the temperature is rising, so we'll see. That was Agat's easy top. This was Evangelina just as she made the transition from the no text to a text. If that's a word, I don't know if it is. I've decided it is. And then up to the top, where our cameras are hidden behind the holds.
That's right.
And I am liking, well done team for putting those cameras there. People have been chatting about this for a long time, and I'm glad it's finally happened.
Yeah, the camera's there, the microphone's at the top of the wall, sometimes hearing the athletes with their cheering and stuff like that. It's a nice addition.
Yes, the mics behind the wall, especially. Loving that on the World Cup circuit, and I know how hard our team have been working to get that in place. So, we are about a minute 25 away from our next round. Let's have a look at the scores once more. So, Mao and Agat leading the way, having done two flashes for them. Genya and Evangelina after that.
Super happy for Evangelina.
Yeah,
well done.
I would say she's... I mean, I'm looking down the list of the athletes to come, and if I was going to gamble it, I would say that the top 1, 2, 3, 4, so the ones we've just seen, are fairly likely to make it through. So it's the final two we're really looking for. And we do have a whole load of athletes who are not regulars on the World Cup scene, so it's going to be fascinating to see who makes it. This lady, though, has done a few. Daria Kuzmenko from Kazakhstan. Oh, sorry, this is Margarita. Apologies, yes. So Margarita there from Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Who I have seen on the World Cup circuit.
Yeah, Margarita and then Daria coming out right after her. So actually they're very, very close in ranking. So it should be fairly evenly matched between the two teammates there.
Exactly, and then Mao after that, we can see a Gat checking the phone. And just a reminder to everyone, I have said it, but just a reminder that the format changes, so athletes have beta videos of all of the boulders. That is why she's on her phone. She is not cheating.
Yeah, I'm even on my phone right now watching one of the beta videos just to see what's coming on boulder number 3. Actually, it's quite fun being able to have a look ahead.
It is, but you know that thing when I do this all the time, when I look at outdoor climbs, when I see a beta video on YouTube and I'm like, I can do that. And I turn up and it turns out the holes are half the size of what they look on the screen.
Yeah, when I was looking at these boulders, I got to boulder number 3 and I thought, if I could do any of them, maybe it would be, I don't know. We're about to see it for the first time. It's not, it's not necessarily more difficult than the other ones. It's certainly the simplest one, the fewest moves involved. But that's a rather big gap between the start holds and the zone.
Yes, well, we'll keep you updated on that. We've got 3 athletes out at once, so if we do miss any live tops, don't worry, we'll show you a top. And right now we're on boulder number 1, which is Margarita starting off her round. Into the crimps, which are pretty good, to be fair. They're not too bad. Boulder number 1 is infinitely doable. I think you just got to keep calm, watch your feet. You know,
that's right. I think her work is not henna. Nice purple shoes to match her purple wrist tape. It's fantastic.
That's true. Color coordination, very good.
Coordination. And she's making quick work of this boulder.
Yeah, wow. That's going to be a flash. If she can top it, but she can. Good work. And in fact, we've got tops all over the place here. Jenya will drop down in the background, so we'll see a replay of that in a sec. And Mao just hits the deck, so not a flash for her. She's going to have to rethink on boulder number 3. Boulder number 3 is the one James was talking about, so he's got a press move, either facing in or out. What was it on the beta video? Was it in or out?
So on the beta video...
Do you have a little? James going to have a little look, because I can't remember.
Bring it back up, actually.
Because I looked at it and I tried...
It is facing out, yeah.
It is, yeah, because I tried in and it's all more awkward in my opinion. But
I honestly, when I looked at it myself, without having seen the beta video yet, I thought in, but out. Although, actually, no, you know what's interesting? When we're looking at the beta video now, they've moved that zone hold a little bit higher up the wall, potentially. Yeah. Maybe I'm misjudging here, but...
I think it's the same, to be honest. I know they did that quite late at night.
Yeah.
So Mao faces out whatever, and that means you've got to jump kind of behind you and twist like she does. But it is a very good hold she's going to.
Yeah, it is. So this is the big gap here. You can swing, come in, jump off, and that's a far jump. Especially because you're not gaining any height from the zone to the foothold that you're jumping off of. It's a lateral move, so it's not like you're gaining height and then continuing that momentum up. You're going left and then trying to change direction mid-flight and shooting up. You need a lot of power for that.
Yeah, you do, don't you? And it's the first time we've seen someone hesitate so far. And this is Jenya on boulder number 2, which she did flash. Pushed her way up towards the top, wrap those fingers over. I am so desperate to get a henna tattoo.
This angle really does highlight the angle of the wall here. So it is quite, she's really looking behind her, you know, she's really looking up and back. Sometimes when you look at it on the screen, they all look kind of flat. You can't really tell. Oh, there we go. She's got the height now, she's got hands on, but it's not a jug. It's not a super positive hold.
She went, it was fascinating watching it because there was a kind of an open session yesterday during the day, and she was trying the men's Boulder Four jumps, which I thought was very dangerous considering she's competing today. But she just hasn't really stopped climbing for the last couple of years.
She's just keen. She's just going at it.
Yeah.
This is something that. Something worth talking about as well. I mean, that concept of how much do you warm up, how much do you practice, how much do you prepare versus how much do you rest, and let your skin, you know, stay on.
Yeah, and yesterday we saw in the men's a lot of people overdoing the warm-up and coming out heavily taped out to their first boulder. And I actually chatted to some people about that, and they were like, yeah, people misjudged that one a little bit.
For sure. Do you know something as a gym owner in a place that doesn't have a lot of new holds? We have a lot of old holds. The texture on these are brand new, straight from these world-class holds manufacturers. The texture on these is really aggressive.
Yeah.
And actually, one thing I was talking with the El Salvadorian athletes, and they weren't expecting texture on the wall, and so they ended up with a lot of scrapes and bruises on their elbows and knuckles because they didn't know the wall had texture.
Wow. There's a real experience difference, isn't there? And that's why these comps are quite nice.
Yes, and necessary.
Yes, because it allows people who are on. Ooh, Mal takes another fall. I don't think Mal's going to do this, you know. Sorry, just changing my own subject here, but that's okay. She's still smiling, but she is struggling on this.
Yeah, she's got a great attitude. I had a nice chat with her last night during the finals, watching Sota go at it, her teammate, and she's just all smiles. She's got a really good attitude, and so I think her maintaining that positivity throughout will serve her really well.
Mal makes me, and I've said this before, but she makes me the most psyched to climb.
Oh, okay, here we go. Here's a change in the beta.
She hasn't got time though, has she?
No, she hasn't.
Left that
She
really
thought about a heel hook and more semi-static approach, but not quite.
Yeah, she makes me, when I watch Mal climb, I'm like, I want to go climbing now. You know, she's just, I don't know what it is about her, but she gives me that vibe. Well, let's see some replays of it. The jump was okay. That little twist to what is a good hold for them. It's the second part of the boulder that proved problematic. And as James said at the beginning, it's straightforward in terms of moves, but difficult. Right, so Kazakhstan, spelt with a Q. What's going on there, James? You threw some knowledge down yesterday.
Yeah, I did. They recently changed from a K to a Q. Just like Turkey recently changed the spelling of its name.
What?
Also,
Hang on a sec, what? I don't know that.
Turkey?
Yeah.
No, it's no longer T-U-R-K-E-Y, it's now T-U-R-K-I-Y-E.
What?
You didn't know this?
No, and as a dyslexic, this is confusing the life out of me.
Well, for now we got a climber on the wall. We'll try to focus on what she's doing.
My mind. Right, Daria is on the wall here, making her way through the slab. A Gat in the background, and even Evangelina on boulder number 2. So boulder number 1, we talk about pressure at this point because she will have known everyone else has flashed it.
Yes.
She knows it's important. So this is a pressurized moment for her.
Yeah, it's another thing about this different format where, because beta sharing is so encouraged by this format, the climbers are really chatting more in the back.
Yeah.
And normally they would chat with their teammates and give each other tips if they can, but in the isolation zone, it's usually a bit more isolated. And with this format, there's a lot of chit-chat.
Yeah.
Now I'm cold.
No, it's very interesting, yeah. And the wind, James said he's cold, but yeah, the wind has picked up here a little bit. It's good for the athletes.
Just took off my sweater.
Evangelina struggling with this press here now. Gets it a little bit better, trusting that right shoulder, but she's low on this next hold. Needs to get those fingers in and does now.
She's got the grip. Can she get the foot? Yes, she can. Fantastic, Evangelina.
I'm not sure if she's fallen yet. I think this is her flash attempt still. Big drop knee on the left in order to get into a chalking position.
Having a good lift. She's got a good rest here, though. It's nice to see a rest in a boulder, a comp boulder. It's very rare.
Yeah, she's brought the chalk bag up because of that. Big move.
Fantastic. I think, honestly, I think she over-psyched herself just a bit. She clearly had it. When she got to it, she got to the highest point in the hold. No problem. She's just out for a rip, eh?
I like how you're it's the most Canadian thing I've heard all day.
Yeah, I'm picturing all my Canadian friends now watching on the live stream, being like, "Yes, James, thank you."
So hang on, I've got to say, she's out for a rip now, and then I can be more Canadian, right? There we go.
I'll explain later.
Well, let's see a Gat here. I think she's left the mat, so she did send this, and it's 3 out of 3 for a Gat. 21-year-old doing well.
Through. Look at that.
I tell you, a Gat, like, I've got to stop talking about how good she is, but she really is. Next year is worth watching for a Gat.
Yeah, 89 points, that means she had 1 fall.
Yeah.
So that was her second attempt, I guess, on Boulder 3.
So very quickly learned from that mistake and got it done. Well, the Gat will be out in front after that round, as the mats have cleared, so everyone completing the boulders.
And the fact that Mao didn't top that boulder and a Gat did, that's going to put a Gat in a pretty fantastic position for the finals.
Yes, it is. Well, Evangelina, as you said, maybe just psyched herself out a little bit before making a move, but once she did it, it was no problem. Yeah. She's got 60 points with 2 flashes. Well, once more we see our desert location here. And yeah, you're not allowed to climb on those towers, which is regularly reminded to the athletes who are professional climbers who want to. But it's a bit sandy here. But there is an area called the Secret Garden, which is about 20 minutes away by drive, where last year there were lots of routes bolted for the locals. Now, this is this isolation area, in quotation marks, because of this chatty format we have. And James, you know, I know you're not maybe a regular coach, but you are a coach. What kind of things would you be telling your athletes to do back there?
So this is an interesting element, especially at this level of competition. Actually, I got my guys into their rotation and chatted a bit, and then I left them alone. I think at this level of the competition, you're not going to see coaches really doing a whole lot during the actual comp. You know, they're more there for the lead up and the follow up. And so one thing I did, I mean, I obviously went over the beta videos with my guys and chit-chatted about beta breaks that could work for them. And I did actually slip it because it's allowed. I did, after watching Michael do a beta break on men's boulder, I think it was Boulder 3 in the qualifications, I did pop back and tell one of my guys, hey, if you can't do it the regular beta, try this. It didn't end up working out for him either way, but I think at this level of the game, the athletes, they know what they're doing in the comp. So you don't actually say a whole lot. Follow-up is really where it all comes in. And not right away, obviously, but the next days, the next week, next training session, kind of going back, okay, what went well, what went wrong? Let's cover those things.
How you care for your athletes afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this is the scoreboard. Gats in the lead, 89 after that triple send, and then Mao after that. Only got in the zone on Boulder 3, leaving her a bit behind, but still easily into a finals place as things stand. Okay, we have another rotation. Go on, you pronounce this
Tahani,
one.
yeah. Tahani Al-Gouhi is from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Look at the smile on her face on screen. Like, she is loving being there.
She's just so excited to represent her nation in her nation.
Yeah.
I asked her about pronouncing her last name, and actually said, you know when you open a can of soda, that like kind of sound. So it's not really Al-Gouhi, it's actually Al-Gouhi. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not going to get it right, so we'll just call her Tahani, which is her name, and blowing off the hold. I guess there was some rubber left over from the shoes there already.
Yeah, big moment for her. Well, she's off the ground, and we know this boulder is toppable, so it could be a good start for her.
I mean, we're 6 for 6 on flashes on Boulder 1 so far.
You have to be careful with the feet. That hold is blocked. She's crossing through. Now, this is a risky way to do this, but she's found it well. Drops down and then into no-tex. In the background, Jenya has made the first move of Boulder 3. Tahani presses her way into the no-tex. Jenya starts a big swing in the background but falls. And then who's down at the end? Mao is on Boulder 4.
Down at the end, yeah, Boulder 4. Margarita also falling off her flash attempt, but she got pretty high up. And here we go. Oh, I spoke too soon, but she's going to go back at it. She's got lots of time.
The no-tex got her. I think she just took concentration away ever so slightly.
Yeah, exactly. That no-tex, it's deceivingly slippery. I think the local crowd was also really behind her. I don't know if you could hear that through these microphones, but a lot of cheering going on.
Maybe got a bit excited at the end, thought, I'm going to top this thing, and then didn't.
Yeah.
All right, Margarita pushes her way up. We were just watching Mao on Boulder 4, which has got a tricky move on the head wall of that boulder wall.
There we go. She's got this grip. I mean, I don't want to call it, but she's okay. Her leg is shaken. She gave it a little slap there. I think her calf might have been cramping just a little bit, but she pressed through. Yeah. Definitely a calf cramp.
Yeah. Right, Jenya faces out, flicks in. This is where she fell before, this next move. It's a big paddle move.
Yeah. This might prove to be the hardest boulder, actually. Even though I think technically Boulder 4 might be a higher grade. We might see the most falls on Boulder number 3.
Jenya looked very stiff there with that swing. There was something in the way she was swinging that there wasn't a lot of flow going on. It'll be interesting just to watch that again.
Yeah.
Right, Tahani up towards the top. Remember, she's got a hold, one hand on the final hold, but it doesn't count. You've got to match it with 2 hands and show control. And the control is what the judges are looking for.
There we go. Good foot. 1 hand on.
She's not in control yet, though.
No, well, she doesn't even have 2 hands. There we go, 2 hands and control. She finally realized flagging her right foot and letting her left foot be the main contact point was a better move.
I'm so happy for it. Right.
Here we go, Mao on Boulder 4.
So Mao got to the next sequence last time, so she's already been through the bottom steep part at least once.
It's extremely powerful. There's a lot of holds. There's a lot of, there's a lot going on. There's not big reaches, except for that one right there. But it's really powerful going through that 60-degree overhang.
So this is progress for her, because she didn't get this far last time. So she's 2 holds away now. Aiming towards the top. Fighting hard, lots of tension required as Jenya in the background.
In the background for Jenya.
Up Mao
and with the barn door just opening a little too much. Couldn't control the swing out.
It's one of those moves where you know you're going to fall seconds before you do, you know.
Yeah.
She's disappointed as she was falling.
Yeah. I think we've all been there. We've had that moment where we're like, oh, I'm going to fall. Can I do something? Is there anything I can do? No, there's nothing I can do.
Happens a lot to me, I'll be honest. All right, well, the first two are done, so we get to focus on Jenya and Mao down at the end. And it seems like, so far, a boulder round of 2 halves. 2 doable boulders, 2 very hard boulders.
Yes, it has been that so far. We haven't seen a fall yet on boulder. That's not true. We did see one fall on boulder number 2, did we not?
Yeah, and boulder number 1, we lost Tahini at the top.
But on boulder number 2, I think it's been mostly flashes so far as well. And then all of a sudden, very few tops on boulder number 3 and 4.
Yes, they've stepped things up here. Well, they need some separation. Jenya will fight to the very end, though, as she always does. Now, this is a swing I thought she made look awkward. That's a bit better. Still not, there's just not the pop she needs for it.
No.
And look at, she's tweaking her left ankle as well. I think she's moving awkwardly on it, look.
Yeah, she's done.
Yeah, there was something about the way she was moving. I was like, I think there's a niggle or an injury or something there.
Yeah. So Mao, 20 seconds left. I mean, I don't like her odds, but I wouldn't discount her just yet.
Got to be quick, hasn't she?
Well, I think now we can say she's not getting that one. So that's 2 tops and 2 no tops for Mao.
All right, so Mao is done. That's the end of her session. I still think it will be enough for a finals place, but she didn't get the last 2 boulders, which is going to be interesting. So we'll have to wait and see. But this is how close she came. You don't get extra points for getting to the last hole, though. She came very close, but knew that that might have been important. Now, Agat, though, is on for 4 out of 4.
Yeah, she is. The only one so far topping boulder number 3, so she's in really good position here. Evangelina coming on boulder number 3. Evangelina coming on boulder number 3, but we're looking right now at our Mongolian athlete, Oka. So I met up last night. Full name, Ogan Stetseg Ochikbao, but she can go by Oka.
Oka is much easier. Let's do that. Yeah. All right, so she's working her way through. Yeah, Mongolia is fascinating. They are, again, another country I've never been to, but they have a good speed climbing team. But I haven't seen too much of their boulders and lead climbers. They're very good ice climbers.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're on the World Cup circuit for the UIAA.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a sport I wish I followed more, actually.
You should. I do commentate. It's excellent. Yeah. Just to plug something else.
Oka coming through nice and slow, controlled movement. Just looking at this slippery, no texture hold. I think she's feeling a little more confident now with feet in good place, having a nice rest and chalking up.
Yeah, she's looking very strong on these feet.
This coming around, and the no texture hold comes out pretty far from the wall, so actually getting your body around it, you know, pushes you out more than you want to be pushed out. So that is one of the places where I would expect to have seen a fall or 2, but all of our athletes so far are getting past that with relative ease.
And Evangelina in the background, look, she's got the heel on, a bit like Mao tried to do, but couldn't make it work.
Yeah, I wish I had the stats on different heights of our athletes as well, just reach potential. Evangelina being slightly shorter, that massive dyno to the pedal might not be her best beta, so trying a foot on makes a lot of sense.
Well, Ola got a top.
Jenya has a top as well.
Yeah, and Daria as well. Top of picks out, so it's all goes suddenly here. Wind has picked up in the stadium, so good conditions now for the athletes. I was worried about the heat, and Agat is about halfway through her boulder. If you watch Evangelina, who got here before, and this is where she put the heel up last time.
Yeah, curious to see what she goes with this time. If she tries for... No, she's going back to the dyno. Realized the heel wasn't going to get her very far, so... Big swing.
Agat's made progress too. How much power does she have left? It looks like she was powering out a bit.
Yeah, still lots of time, but after 3, competition boulders, the energy is low.
Yeah.
For someone who doesn't boulder necessarily, they might look at it and go like, oh, they haven't been, it's not like they've been running a marathon or anything. And I talked to some of the athletes from the men's competition even this morning, and they're exhausted still. Wow. It takes a lot out of you.
It does, yes. I mean, it's the morning after, apparently, is the savage one. When you get into the shower and everything hurts and you've got cuts and scrapes and bruises. I think we don't realize how physical this sport is.
Yeah.
Well, we do, but sometimes people watching don't. Okay, Evangelina puffs out her cheeks there in the middle. It's a really physical set of moves here. Even though it doesn't look like much, that jump, it is tiring.
It's a very tiring jump. And going from nothing, so, you know, your legs are completely down at zero and having to press through with no handhold to pull on. You're only pushing up.
In problem number 3.
Well, Agat has had a long rest, which I think is clever because it looked like she was powering out before. So hopefully she's refined this beater. She can do the bottom section a bit quicker, save something for the top. Yeah. Out to block, it's a blocked crimp under there as well.
It is, and just the sheer amount of moves on this boulder, like if you count them out, it's just non-stop. It goes really far.
Yeah,
traverses over to the right and back to the left.
And the toe hooks, but very full body. That burns your core.
Yeah. So, extremely physical boulder. Definitely within her capabilities. And I think if this was a Boulder 1, we probably would have seen more tops on it. Yeah. That's the route setters keeping it for number 4. That's part of it. The athlete's already tired. Oh, that's really unfortunate.
Yeah. Got to hold the barn door somehow. And yeah, Agat saying,
well, and Agat had she had it slightly closer. She did kind of jog her feet across, you know, with that little skip step, and so she was controlling the swing slightly better.
I'd be surprised if she goes again, but it looks like she is.
I
think I would, you know, I'd call that.
I mean, honestly, she doesn't have the time. But, you know, I don't know, I think as an athlete, you just sort of go, well, I'm here, I'm going to keep climbing.
Yeah. And you never know, you know, it's not guaranteed she'll make finals, but I think she's likely to be in there.
No, it's not guaranteed, but she definitely is on the leaderboard, front of the leaderboard right now.
Well done, I guess. What a way
yeah,
to
she
start
couldn't recover, but it was very close on this final hold. Look at this, deep breath, hit it. I thought she was in, but she was very low on it, actually. There's a big chalk handprint from where the setters kind of put some chalk, and it was higher up.
Our brusher's hard at work.
Oh.
Out they go.
Okay.
Oh, new athlete on the mats. This is Melissa Ramirez. I had breakfast with her today.
Well, there was a really sweet moment in the, I was getting a coffee, I was stealing a coffee from the athletes area, and she came in and someone asked for her autograph, and she was just amazed that anyone wanted her autograph, and it was just this incredible moment. I just wanted to say, yes, of course they do. Like, you are a pro athlete, you're on a massive stage.
Yep, and I think she recognizes that as well. You know, our conversation this morning at breakfast was that our countries are at very similar stages.
Yeah.
Cambodia and El Salvador, you know, really just 1 or 2 gyms in the country, and athletes coming to these events for the first time. And what she's really excited about is actually the results for her on this competition don't necessarily matter. It's going back to El Salvador and the people being excited to climb and getting more young climbers out. You know, the Instagram posts and the YouTube videos and things that they see, and it gets them to come out to the gym.
Yeah.
And that's really more what she's about. She's about developing the program for El Salvador.
Which is lovely to hear. And she's making good progress. She's got a zone. Genya in the background we saw briefly is halfway through her boulder. As we scan down towards the feet, but struggled a bit with that last little transition move. Gave herself a bit of a clap though.
Yeah, so I think I mentioned earlier, it's not a totally blind corner, but you got to get around the corner. If you don't know what's coming, then, you know, it's a little hard. So she went out and had a look.
Yeah. Well, in the background, we've got Genya on the far right, Margarita swinging around in the middle, and then the hometown hero, Tahini, in boulder number 2. This is Margarita.
She's going for the heel. I'm curious to see if anyone does this with good effect. And
I'm not convinced.
I'm not convinced either. I love to see beta breaks. They're one of my favorite things.
But the setters would have 100% tested that.
Yeah.
You know, like if you could span it with it, because they know how good the women are for heel hooks as well.
Yeah.
But it's worth, as you said, definitely worth trying. But I think you'd have to be really tall to make that work.
Tahani pulling on to boulder 2 here. I'm curious to see how far she makes it. I don't think she's got the zone yet, but I think zone's definitely within her reach on this, maybe a top as well. And Melissa, I would really expect to see a top here, maybe on this go.
Yeah, it's all about feet. And she took the concentration away from the feet before, but now I tell you what, that right foot is very high on that volley, which is risky, but she's pulled it off.
Now she's got it. There we go. She adjusts the feet, flag the right foot out. She's got it, and pointing out to her friends. You know, Carlos and the other El Salvadorian athlete, who are the men who were here yesterday, No tops. I think they got 1 or 2 zones, but they had smiles on the whole time. They were just excited.
Margarita nearly did that with a heel, you know. Margarita, don't prove me wrong immediately. That would just make me look very stupid. But she came close.
She did come close.
Now, Jenny, we haven't seen much of her, but she's got here a few times. Top of this boulder is brutal.
It is really, really challenging. And the strength on her look to just, she's in a 60 degree, she's basically in a roof, and to hold those two in, pressed together and hang her feet down, even just for that couple of seconds, like, shows how strong she is. But now she's exhausted coming out of this roof.
Yeah, you can see her fighting, trying to chalk up here.
Trying to find that rest before that jump, and it's,
Agathe said the same thing when she came down, you know, I'm pumped. Margarita again stretching.
That's a big fall.
I think she's okay.
She's okay.
Yep.
Thumbs up.
I tell you what that is, it's a very twisty shouldery move, and you're putting a lot through the left shoulder, and it would kind of cramp up almost.
Yeah, I think the heel hook is not the move.
No, but the jump is brutal, so it's an interesting one. And Tahini as well, I think, is not going to get that far on this one. She's struggling with this opening sequence of moves. We saw Agathe launch into this with just the right hand bump. She's trying to match and then go. Again, I mean, trusting that sloper she's got a hand on with 2 hands is pretty tricky. That's the way better.
But you know what? Good on you, Tahani. You just kept going at it. And so if you're watching this later on, well done.
Exactly. That goes without saying. We're behind you all. Margarita. Gonna go again.
Oh my goodness! There it is.
Well, I am wrong. She can do it with a heel.
And you know what? I love it. I love watching a beta break like that, which every athlete knows what they can do, and they know their wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And so for her to say, you know what, this dyno's not happening for me. I'm just going to do it static and make it.
Yeah, and the second athlete to do it, and with kind of 30 seconds to go. You know, there was no panic. I'm going to change my beat and go for the jump.
Yeah.
That was
she had the idea, she knew she could do it, she stuck to it, and a beautiful top from Margarita.
That really was, and a worthy celebration of that. That is awesome stuff.
So I dare say that'll put her right up in the leaderboard.
It really will, exactly. So she could be the one to break through into that last one. Right, Susanna from Bolivia is out. Let's see what she can do here. You've got to start those green tapes. That's 1 tape per limb, and you can't just pull on. You've got to show control at the beginning as well. And it's a bit of a tentative start from her. I think some nerves initially. Finds the right foot. And unless you've really planned out here what you're going to do, it can be tricky. And I don't think she's quite worked it out yet. Evangelina in the background, you can just see her getting through the steepest part of boulder number 4.
Nice delicate work here from Susanna.
Yeah, those nerves seem to have settled down a little bit. She was very shaky pulling on.
Yeah, well, it's her first time out on the mats today, so I can understand. You know, when you're sitting in that isolation zone, sitting in that chair, knees bouncing, the time's ticking down. But I feel like now that she's had a go and she's had a fall, those nerves will probably work themselves out.
It's the disadvantage with the video is that you get to literally sit and look at what you've got to do for an hour or so.
Oka pulling on to boulder number 2 here. And she's having some trouble with the start. I'm wondering her span. She's trying to get a foot up. Has she actually got the start yet? That's what I'm a little confused.
Position, you mean?
Yeah, because she had to have 3 on the bottom. I didn't notice her. Oh, the judges are calling her for that. Yeah. Okay. So reminding her that somebody just hollered at her. She didn't have 3 limbs on the bottom to start.
Yeah, I'm surprised someone hasn't come on the mats then, because usually they would not leave it that long. So it's interesting. I mean, I agree with you. It's just usually they would come onto the mats and tell the athletes, so perhaps not.
Well, I could be wrong, actually. I might have just missed it, but I thought for sure she hadn't had the start to go, and then somebody did yell something from behind. Oh, well. She's on again now, and she's having a good go. She's got lots of time left.
Yeah. Right, Evangelina is on boulder number 4. She's got pretty much to where everyone else has, that yellow section of holds before falling.
Yeah.
And Susanna from Bolivia is halfway through boulder 1 again.
And Daria, boulder number 3 there, pulling that face out. The route setters love to give a face out. Something for the, you got to get that photo, right?
It always worries me, though, when they say, oh, it's face out, because usually the athletes don't like to do that. And they will do everything to face in.
It is preferable. I didn't notice anybody try a face in yet. I don't think anyone has. She's going for the same thing as her teammate, Margarita did.
And she's tall, and they would have chatted about the beta.
Yeah,
but interesting.
Now she's shaking her head, not too sure. She looks, yeah, she'll go for the swing now. Wow, so spanning it and holding it for a second. So she might not even go for a full two-hand dyno at first.
Susanna's looking pretty awkward here. She wants some kind of a balancing point for that right foot, but she's trying to heel her bottom free. Trusts it, gets a toe on, and now makes that twist over.
And as we say, whatever works, right? Hands on. Is she going to swap feet? She is. Flag out, and the top.
That heel she had, it was so risky.
It was pretty risky. But with nice control, she pulled it through. Daria having a look at the swing.
Yeah, no, she did this span, so she wanted to hold the left and the right at the same time.
Interesting beta.
As you said, she decided to go like this.
I'd love to see her try the full swing and the full dyno.
Yeah, she's
I think she could make it.
She's over 170 centimeters, so she is tall.
Yeah.
Alright, so going again here on this move, this is this tricky bump, and I think she needs to commit to some different beta here, because she's trying to get a foot in play, trying to match it, all types of stuff, and I think if she just went for the bump, she'd suddenly unlock this boulder.
If you realize that it's not the good way for you
that
to do
red
it, and
screw on, and it's just a bit of a knob, almost, you know, like a pebble kind of thing, but the red one on the far side of the blue hold, the second blue hold, is quite good.
So we're into the chess game side of this competition here as everyone starts figuring it out. Going again and powering out a bit. The problem is with that span is it's super powerful.
Yeah, it is. And it's kind of holding her back. Her left arm was actually keeping her back from getting the distance she needed to get her hands on, and I think if she had gone for the two-hand paddle, it might have served her better.
Right, leaderboard 99 is Agat's high point. She's going to be in finals likely. Then Margarita, after that, unlocking the heel, jumps way up into 85. Mao in third. Genya joint third. And then Evangelina, and then Daria. And then Daria. So that's our top 6.
Yeah, so getting the zone for Daria, at the very least, I mean, that's a lot, and that could actually, you know, keep her in the leaderboard, especially if she could zone on Boulder 4, which Evangelina did not.
Fascinating stuff here. Okay, so Alice Huan from Bolivia comes on, has a little look back at the judges to make sure she was in the correct starting position, which she was.
Alice Huan, Team Bolivia, from NEOM, we welcome back here.
Yeah, with the crimps.
Yeah,
no sign of nerves from her at the moment.
Kind of fun, same as our Kazakhstan athletes, you know, tied in the world rankings. Our 2 Bolivian athletes coming out one after the other as well. Shows that their team are kind of operating at a very similar level.
Yes, it's great. It's good. What I've really loved about this comp so far is the fact we are seeing teams we wouldn't normally, because she tops out, I think. Yes, good work.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, because normally
well done,
we don't broadcast a qualification. This is kind of a semi-finals, but it's a great chance for you watching at home as well, just to see some other faces.
Yeah, like, for example, Melissa on boulder number 2 here. Classic on the bottom of our screen, Melissa Tatiana Ramirez Esperanza. And last night she was like, please, please, just Melissa Ramirez is fine.
You've done the full name, that's very impressive. I like the rolling of the R. This is great, James. You are Asian expert.
I spent a bit of time in South America as well. So.
Speak Spanish or not?
I did until I learned Khmer, and I completely forgot all my Spanish.
And you've learned Khmer, like you can speak it?
Tic tic. Okay. A little bit. I literally was about to say un poquito, which is Spanish for a little bit. So you're confusing me, Matt.
Yes, clearly. It's all right. I struggle with every language. So, Melissa, bumping out towards the right. She has the right idea, but Tahini here, maybe not the right idea.
Tahani doing the face in, and Okay, and instead of left foot and a right foot, a right hand, left hand, she's going for 2 hands and 2 feet to get that start position. Which is definitely an interesting way to do it.
I wonder if she's tried facing out yet. Because, I mean, look, I went and pressed myself into that position. It's so much harder facing in because of the angle of the wall.
Yeah.
Your top body being pushed back. Exactly. Margarita is having a great comp. She's sitting up in a finals place here. She can get a zone, she was saying.
And she looks so in control right now, actually. I'm really impressed by her movement through these overhanging... they're almost meant to be like tufas, these volumes that are kind of thin and long. And yeah, so steep. Melissa with her foot on the little knob.
Yeah, Melissa's got through that first move she was struggling with, so progress for her as well. It should be a zone score, but she slips down.
That overhang, where that's right where she's at, is where the overhang really kicks in, and so that presses her out away from the wall and kicked her off.
Yeah.
You can see the sun when she backed up, and where Margarita is now starting to hit the mats. It's getting a bit hotter again.
Yeah, she's facing out this time, look, so that's good learning from her, but that left foot.
There we go, she's got it now. Good on you, Tahani.
And now she can sit back down and just have a moment to compose herself.
Yeah, it's not a very natural move, the jumping and twisting. So to go from, like, her left leg right now is at complete 0. And so to press from complete 0, like a pistol squat like that, into a jumping twist, it's a hard move. And like again, that boulder 3 looks like the most simple boulder, but I would argue that technically it's the most difficult.
Absolutely. Well, she's got through this move before, this little hand bump works.
Oh, making it look easy, Melissa.
Good work from her, but this is where she fell before. She does again.
Same again. Yeah, stretched out a pectoral muscle just a little bit on that press out, so feeling it a little bit. And with 20 seconds left, or 30 seconds left, Tahani pressing back on. If she can just jump up and grab that and then kick off the wall, she's got a zone. And, you know, that zone would mean a lot. Oh, not quite controlling it.
14 seconds. I don't think she's got time.
No, she's probably not, but she's going for it. You know, that announcer is really giving her some love, so she's feeling the love and she's going for it. Why not?
Gotta launch for this.
Hoping for the buzzer beater.
She had a little bit of an adrenaline kick there to take her into the next climb, which is cool to see. Well, so far, boulder number 4 is proving impossible for everyone, and I don't know if we're going to see a top now with the athletes to come, although, oh yeah, because Margarita's fallen off it as well, so yeah, we'll see.
Daria hasn't had a go at it yet, so we'll see her right now. She's one who, you know, could potentially go for it.
So Amina comes on from Mongolia. Team Mongolia sending a big old team here.
Yeah.
I need to get more into this Mongolia team because I'm fascinated by it.
Yeah, I mean, they're all fantastic people. I was actually pleasantly surprised at how much English there was amongst the team as well, so I was able to talk with them. And I'd love to go to Mongolia someday.
Yeah.
Matt, if you ever go to Mongolia, you'd call me. Maybe maybe we'll do something.
I want the invite first of all.
Oh, yeah.
I need this to happen. But yeah, they've got a very good speed climbing team, both ice and normal speed climbing, normal IFSC speed climbing. And yes, clearly some boulderers and
working on their boulder program. Yeah.
Well, there we go. So crossing through our hold cam as she comes to the right edge of the wall, creeps that hand around the corner, slips and couldn't save herself on that left hand.
Yeah, with the qualifications being in order of world ranking, I mean, as we get further down the list, we'll see a lot more falls, see a lot more people getting spit off the wall, and some.
Yeah. All right, so we are watching here Daria making her way through. So, making good work here of this.
Back to Amina on boulder number 1, pulling through and having a much better look now at the hold around the corner.
Yeah, she is. That right foot not totally comfortable here.
But, yeah, coming up through. She's going for that risky heel hook, just like Susanna did. And it is risky.
I think it is. I'm not... I mean, she made it work, which is great about climbing, but I think in terms of the correct way to do it, that heel hook is not great.
Yeah. Ooh, dry fire for Daria Kuzmenko. She's having a bit of a laugh at the sheer difficulty of this route.
Yeah, it's a brutal route. No one getting anywhere close. And if Agat and Zhenya and that lot and Mao can't do it.
Now, Matt, let me ask you, route or route? Route. I say route setter, but
yes.
But you climb a route. I don't know why.
It's okay to be wrong. It's the correct pronunciation. It's route setter.
Of course.
Yes, Queen's English, you know.
But it is okay to be wrong. I'm okay with that.
I'm joking, of course. But yes, route setter is what I call route. I like the route setter thing, but I mean, I think my my classical trained actor background, you know, disagrees with it, so I have to go for that. And listen, James, actually, we'll talk about your gym in a second in the transition, but I do want to find out, because you mentioned funding for your gym, and if you could drop us a link in the break in a minute.
Yeah, sure can.
That'd be awesome. Right, so Mongolia pulling around the corner once again. Amina doing well here. Let's see if she goes for this heel hook that is awkward. But she's at the moment just trying to trust the right foot. Now flags underneath. But brings that right foot back, and this is the toe on the jib, which I think is better for me.
Yeah, it is much better. It'll give her a lot more control, and if she can just press that pistol squat, there you go. 2 hands on.
Control, yes it is.
Yes, it is.
Brilliant.
Lovely top for Amina.
And she's hanging up there just to 100% make sure it looks like
I think she's thinking through the 5-meter drop right now, actually.
Oh, she's scared to... Okay,
I think she might be.
I've never seen this.
That is a very high drop, and she may have bashed her face off her knee just now.
That was...
but she's okay.
Yes, she thought about the drop for so long, but when she did the drop, I think she smashed her face. I hope she's okay.
I think she is. Do you know, it's one of those things about being, I mean, I'm not terribly old or anything, but being a slightly older school climber, you know, when you're out with just you and maybe a boulder pad, and you're taking these drops off of boulders, you bash your knee into your face every once in a while.
Yes, I've done it.
I mean, nowadays people have these massive, like, triple boulder pads, and they carry out these big piles, and it's a little bit, dare I say, a softer landing. But that's a high boulder. I think most climbers in most gyms are used to something more like 4 meters.
Yeah.
That extra meter adds a lot.
Yeah. Well, as we have the transition, James, talk to me about your gym, because in Cambodia you're obviously trying to do something pretty big with the community. So how do people help you with this?
Well, so we have the climbing gym in Phnom Penh that is open already and operating and has been now for over 8 years. We're trying to build a gym in Siem Reap. About half of the national athletes actually live in Siem Reap, and so we're trying to build it. We had a go, we almost got it finished, and then we just ran out of money, unfortunately. And so we've been doing some crowdfunding, which is going really well. We have a couple of platforms. We've been using Khmer Care, which is K-H-M-E-R, you might pronounce it Khmer, K-H-M-E-R-C-A-R-E, KhmerCare.com, and you can look up Kingdom Climbing Gym.
Okay.
So Kingdom Climbing Gym through KhmerCare.com. We also have another platform called BuyMeACoffee.com that we were using for Crag Care Cambodia.
Okay.
So anyone who wanted to give towards Crag Care in Cambodia could give at buymeacoffee.com.
There we go. Thank you so much, mate. I appreciate it. Right, Abby Gebert is on from New Zealand. One of a few New Zealand teams. Her teammate David will be speed climbing.
Yeah, she also is a speed climber.
Oh, we're coming to... Okay, so a lot of these athletes are speed climbers here at the end, including Agnese from Italy later on.
Yeah, Abby was having a look at it, and they wanted to have more female athletes in the boulder, and she thought, why not?
Yeah. I mean, a lot people seem to think that speed climbers just do speed climbing, and it's often not true. You know, there are some very good boulderers and lead climbers within the speed climbing community, and look at this. Clearly, she's one of them. Yep. Easy stuff.
Nice flash from Abby Gebert. But that's probably also part of why she's actually so low in the world ranking, is because she is a speed climber.
Yeah.
And so she's not really focusing on her bouldering.
This is awesome to see. Well done, Abby. Alice.
Alice Huon coming through to the zone. I don't know if that means she's achieved the zone or not.
I don't think that would have been enough. No. She's kind of touching it. She needs to move in the position. So that
got it, and then she's moved her foot, and now she's got it.
So that should be given for the judges. And it's pushing off that left foot. It's a really sketchy position.
It is, and that press to like lean more and more and more and more onto the hand and more with your back toward the mat. It can be a little daunting to have your back pointing straight down.
Melissa, meanwhile, is in this position. We've seen athletes facing left, facing right, facing in, facing out. She's facing towards the right here. And you can't see it, although obviously there's a hold there. He's kind of blind because of the angle.
Yeah, the actual top of the hold you can't see. So you're sort of looking at the space and trying to judge it spatially. And that hold is on a slight angle, although it's a pretty good judge. That pistol squat, it really is like doing a pistol squat. Like when you go down to complete bend in your knee and then push through to a stand. You know, that one leg is fully extended and the other leg is fully pronated, I guess is the other one. So that's a challenging move to start with.
Yes, and for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, he will finish things off here. What will be a challenging boulder for her? To see how far she can get. Getting zone will be a big achievement.
I think when we consider the fact that none of the athletes so far have topped that boulder at all. 2 athletes touched the top hold and weren't able to hold it. I think any athlete at this point in the ranking who doesn't have a real good try on this boulder, no problem at all. I mean, you know,
yes, it's not a gimme, is it?
No, it's not.
All right, so Melissa jumps up, chalked up, but didn't get the angle right at all for that jump, and needs to figure this out, I think.
You can hear her teammates in the crowd, though, really cheering her on.
Yeah, if you're not used to moves like this, it's not. I mean, you very rarely would see a boulder like that in a commercial gym because the volumes themselves are worth a fortune, and not many people like jumps like that. It's very confident.
It's true. Yeah. Our route setters at our gym actually have been leaning more and more towards these big jumps. They rather like the dynamic and the running along the wall kind of stuff. A more parkour move has really actually been something that they've enjoyed.
Yeah. I look at them and then I leave immediately. Bring back the crimps.
Yeah, if we're ever stuck for route setting and I need to put up a few things, you'll find me setting jug ladders mostly.
Okay, well, she's made this transition onto the hand in a bit of a different way. Didn't go for the big savage bump. Oh, wow, feet first.
Oh, unfortunate. Yeah, dry fire off the small crimp.
I don't know about the feet first, you know. I think you might get a bit stuck after that.
Yeah. Okay, so Melissa switched legs. She was doing it initially off of her right leg, and now she's switched to doing off her left, which actually makes a lot more sense given the angle of the hold.
It's the jump itself, though, that she was struggling with, and you can see the arms not really coming up to even try to go for the grab. All right, I think we're going to have a look at the results. No, we're going to see some highlights here. So this was the jump, and this is what I mean by not really getting anywhere near it. She's just not close enough to even reach for that hold yet. And it is the angle of that jump. All right, next up, another speed climber, I think. Tamara coming out, yes. So Tamara with the best leggings in the game. I was watching her in Bologna, I think it was. Was it Bologna? I can't remember. It all blends into one. But yes, the legging game is strong.
Yeah. Also the hair color.
It all matches.
That scrunchie is something else too.
It's brilliant. I'm jealous, frankly, in my unmatching jeans here. But she's making her way across very quickly and very confidently through the middle of this boulder.
More henna for you to be jealous about.
I am going to go get some. I missed. Where is the henna?
I don't know the exact location, but the camp isn't that big.
Yes, I know, but I haven't seen. I've seen bracelet making. I avoided that one, but the henna. Very, very annoyed I missed this. All right, so it's pressing the top of, you can see how my days are filled here. Pressing up into the no-tex.
And Tamara with an easy top.
That was quick, eh?
Oh, sorry. Now easy top.
Yeah, fast work from her, no issues, and will just down climb the top of this boulder. Will not want to be injuring herself before the speed comp.
Well, and this is something that actually could be interesting for the leaderboard, because normally when we get this far down the ranking, we're not really expecting much change in the leaderboard, but with all these speed climbers who don't have high world ranking in the boulder because they're more focused on speed climbing, but they are very talented boulders as well. So who knows, actually, this could shake up the leaderboard. We might see a change in number 5 or number 6.
Absolutely, and with the power of the jump on Boulder 3, you know, they're very good at jumping.
They're very good at jumping.
Could it be an upset? I'd love it to be an upset.
Well, a top on Boulder 3 would go a long way.
Yes, massive, huge discount. Okay, well, Boulder 1 is done and dusted. We're just going to try to see who's climbing where and who here. We've got, who's back on?
That would be
Amina. Yeah,
and Susanna. And Oka on the far right.
Okay, so the 2 Mongolian teammates climbing at the same time. That's the desert. Every time we see a drone shot, I want to go and explore it.
Oh, my goodness. If I had a motorbike right now,
you crash.
I wouldn't be here with you, man.
No, exactly.
I would
stuck in a dune somewhere.
I would be, oh, come on, give me more credit than that.
I don't know your motorbiking skills. Are you good? He's good. He's not.
Oh, no, I don't. now everyone from Cambodia listening to the stream is going like, oh, come on, James. Admit it. A replay of the top.
Yeah, that was the... That was Tamara topping out that boulder there. We're almost at the end here. We've got a couple of one last athlete to go after this rotation before we start losing some as she crouches down here.
Amina having a good think about it. Susanna having some trouble getting into the start. If you look at the height right now, you see her head is at the level where her feet need to be, right? So that you got to imagine that jump pressing through and pulling your feet all the way up to there. You know, when we just see it on the wall on its own, it doesn't look like a whole lot, but when you see it with the context of a person standing next to it,
it's a big push.
Yeah, it's a big push.
And the judge there, that is what we were talking about. The judges will come on and explain the starting position to the athletes. And you have to start where the green lines indicate, and you can't just touch it and go. You've got to show a bit of control down there. And hopefully, as is the case there, the judges will pull them down very quickly rather than let them climb throughout the boulder before tapping. So boulder number 4, the brutal one, and Oka really struggling to get into this starting position here.
Yeah, similar to earlier with Daria having a big smile, just kind of looking at him like, this is something else.
Come on, Amina, you did great job.
That says it all, that look, doesn't it? Just what do I do here?
Yeah. Having a look at her teammates, getting a bit of love from them.
Thing is, there's not a lot. I mean, it's the beater itself is pretty straightforward. It's just the power required to do it.
Come on, Mega Susanna, well done.
And that starting position really hard. She's falling, everyone falling. So she's having a little look here at this press position. No jibs to help you either, just flatness.
Just pressing, yeah. Bolivia, another one of the countries that was invited to the Olympic Solidarity Program last year, which was such a cool program, you know, getting countries that didn't yet have any World Cup presence, but did have national federations, did have athletes, and just inviting them out to train in Italy for a full month.
Yep.
All paid for by the International Olympic Committee. It was a huge blessing for so many countries. So I think Bolivia reaped a lot of benefit from that too.
Yeah, there's a video on the IFSC YouTube channel. So if you scroll down to about this time last year, there's a video with lots of interviews and shots of the athletes who participated in that program. So if you're interested, go and check that out. Right, leaderboard time. Agat still in the front and into the finals, 99. Margarita, 95. Performance from her. Mao after that. Genya, Evangelina and Daria finish up our top 6. And these are the athletes who have climbed a few boulders. And last athlete out.
Last athlete out, yeah. Agnese Fiorio from Italy.
Yes, we did an interview with Agnese during the Seoul Speed World Cup. Super young, just 18, kind of starting her IFSC journey.
And another one of our speed climbers who thought, well, I'm here, I'm in the desert, I'm in this camp, there's nowhere really to go, I might as well boulder.
Yes, he did. Yeah, chatting to her, you know, she started off in lead in boulder, that was her world, so and you can see how confidently she's moving through these moves.
Come on, Agnese, come on.
Simple stuff so far, but I doubt she's touched no-tex holds for a while.
Probably not. Something to think about. Confident, moving right through them, no problem.
No issues.
And there's the top.
Good work. Well, boulder number 1 ticked, as we'd expect. So we say goodbye to that boulder.
That's it. That's it for that. Abby Gebert on, oh, sorry, this is Alison on boulder number 3. Getting herself, that left going off the left leg makes a lot more sense, I think.
Yeah, do you face left or right? That's the debate, but I think you're right, this position. And you can see the way the holds are set as well. There's a better surface to jump off on that right foot.
Yeah. And she got herself statically stood up to about halfway before really going for the jump, which is, you know, it's good. She's got a lot of power in her legs.
Boulder number 4, proving hard for Melissa down on the right there. It's the starting position. There's a lot of core because you've got to lift your legs up. You know, you've got to basically do a front lever to get into the starting position.
Honestly, I was at breakfast this morning with Melissa there. I was asking, does your gym have anything like that? Even she said no. The steepest thing they have is, I think, a 40-degree wall.
Yeah. James, your breakfast routine is unbelievable. I staggered out of bed, got coffee, and didn't talk to anyone. You were on it this morning.
Well, I like to make connections.
All right.
Abby pressing through here.
Nice.
Yeah, Abby's doing well at the moment.
Our Kiwi friend.
Yeah, interesting.
She's actually she's from Tauranga, which is the city I lived in for a couple of years when my wife and I lived in New Zealand. So we had a lovely chat. Oh, just falling off of the second to last hole.
Exhausted there for a second. Holding her wrist, yeah. Up to the jump, got a hand on it, slipped down. Yeah, and what was lovely yesterday when we went off air is they kept the boulders up, put a few jugs in there just to get everyone into position, and then it was a free session. So again, a great way of allowing athletes who don't usually compete at this level to experience World Cup standard.
That's right, yeah. My guys were asking if that was going to happen, and I said, yeah, I think it is. And then by the time it ended, they were already in bed. They actually missed breakfast this morning because they slept in until 9. Breakfast ended.
You need to get your breakfast routine in your team. And in me, apparently. You just need to give me a
Oh, so close from Alice.
Was very, very close.
Yeah, she changed to 2 hands on that hole, better than the one.
Manny, you're a climber.
It was close.
You're a top climber. We know your abilities in climbing.
So, just 3 boulders in action. Boulder number 4 we can slightly ignore, I think, for a while, until Melissa makes some progress on that, but it's 2 and 3.
She's having a good rest right now.
Yeah, and she's done, in fact, so she's going to leave the stage with a minute 30. Not going to happen for her.
Yeah, there's no point in her injuring herself or wasting her skin, throwing herself at something that impossible.
So Abby, high left foot here. That's going to put a lot of pressure
on the knee.
Oh, the wrist, the knee, there's a lot going on that one. Yeah. Someone early on, I think it might have been Shenya or a Gap, can't remember, maybe Mal. But anyway, someone was trying that high left foot, and I actually think it's a bit of a red herring, you know. Although it looks like bringing your foot that high would help, it doesn't really.
Yeah, not necessarily. She's taping up her knee here. I was just observing
a bit of blood, I think.
A bit of blood, okay, yeah.
Yeah, the athletes are not allowed to bleed on the wall, so they will bring tape out and they'll just slap it on the bleeding area and sort it out.
Yeah,
so later on.
That's that nice textured wall giving you a reminder that
kisses.
It's there.
Yeah. So this jump again, she came close. Again.
I was trying to, while they were zooming in on Abby here, I was trying to see her punamu around her neck, the New Zealand greenstone, and what it was. I think she's got a fish hook on, which should bring you blessing in travel.
Okay. She's got here all right, but goes for this high foot again, and she's made it work, you know.
But switching the foot is going to prove difficult. No problem at all. That left hand holding. Oh, no! A slipped foot. That's unfortunate. She lost the tape on her blood. They're going to make her fix that.
Yeah, she's going to have to. That high foot, I didn't think it was going to work just because of the amount. It's so scrunched up. The angle is that 90 degrees by you, and pushing all the way through that, as you can see how.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
For sure.
Fair play, made it work. Yeah. I think that's what happens when a speed climber starts bouldering, is they do unusual things.
Yeah.
What a fight. Didn't quite matter. I would have loved to have seen her finish that.
Yeah, I would have as well. Agnesi back. No, oh, I'm sorry. Tamara back out. Amina. Susanna on Boulder Four.
So can Tamara think outside the box too. She's very tall as well, totally different sort of stature than the other climbers.
Yeah,
but that's where I think the high foot definitely won't work, he says.
Actually, all the Kazakh athletes were quite tall. That's something I noticed about the team last night. I was looking around, I was like, oh boy. And you know, traditionally, I mean, often the Asian athletes are a bit shorter. Yeah. Obviously the Kazakhs breaking that stereotype, quite tall.
So facing out towards the audience, looking a little bit nervous, is Amina there. It's a strange, I know sometimes athletes do get intimidated by facing the crowd, you know, especially when you can't do the first move like this.
Yeah.
You don't want to be looking at them.
No, this moment, I would dread this. Very intimidating moment. Everybody eyes on you and your eyes are on them. You can't turn around and ignore them. But that, getting your feet to where your head is, I mean, that's a big high press. I mean, she's making good work of it.
Yeah, she gets it done. There was a
well
moment
done,
I thought she wasn't going to get through that first move, but she's done well.
So she has officially started 2 and 2. It didn't have to be 2 hands over, 2 feet over.
Yeah, the green line can be any limb you want as long as it's a limb.
You read her just now mouthing like, oh my, looking up at the distance to that next one.
I think she was the lady who struggled to jump down from the top of the boulder #1 as well. So a big leap like this could really push her comfort levels. You need a lot more commitment than that on this boulder.
Oh, fall from Tamara. That is a really hard, like, lean over press. She's gripping her shoulder. She might have tweaked it just a bit, pressing over like that.
If you're competing in speed, you don't want to pick up an injury in boulder here, so I wouldn't.
Well, and what's funny for these international athletes too is, like, even travel. I mean, being the hometown team in sports often is a good thing because travel takes it out of you a bit. And, you know, one of our athletes, the morning of, he was moving his shoulder around and kind of grunting, and I said, "What's going on?" He's like, "I slept funny on the plane." And I was like, "Not now, Petra. You got a competition to do."
At least Petra slept on the plane.
Yes, he did. He sleeps anywhere.
All right, so Susanna. Sorry, not Susanna. We saw Susanna on Boulder Four. This jump again. Yeah. Look, let's be honest here. We are obviously encouraging here for her, but what she needs to do is just find some commitment from this jump. Yeah. Trust the mats, trust your body, and go for it. That was better.
It was better, for sure. She's not really launching herself off that left leg yet.
You can't static that move.
No, you can't.
have to leap.
Watching the men's finals last night, there was on boulder #4 that big 180 twist, and I was quite impressed with Manu Cornu and his commitment. And he just went for it. His first attempt, he missed the foot, bashed his elbow and his ribs off the hold, and just turned around and got right back on. And you know, the higher level athletes, knowing what their bodies can take, helps with the commitment levels. So Tamara deciding whether she should push off of the lower or the higher foot, obviously having to go for the lower foot because she is quite tall. Scrunching into that higher foot would have been a little too difficult.
Yeah, exactly. And I think maybe worried about that shoulder just a little bit. It'll certainly be there in her mind somewhere. You know, you just don't want to tweak it.
There's the 1 minute warning for Susanna and Amina and Tamara.
She's doing great at the start, actually.
Amina up on the start again. And each time getting a little bit more confident, jumping a little higher. We'll see what happens this time around.
Yeah, exactly. Can she commit to this move now? Now is the time to do it with 37 seconds gone. Oh, going backwards. Well, that's the commitment we wanted.
That's what we wanted. And she's right back at it. She's got an idea in her head now, and she's ready to go again. Tamara over here, still struggling through the zone. I mean, she's got the zone already, but she'd need a top here to be able to approach that leaderboard.
Well, the light catching our cameras beautifully there, and she pushes through. Really dramatic shot, but it's not going to happen.
I did love the light was also like rainbow and multicolored, just like her in her outfit. So.
Still holding that shoulder. I am worried about that. Now, we do have a very good physio team here in NEOM. I wandered in and had a look. They've got about 10 couches lined up. It's brilliant.
Well, actually, you know, like, again, looking at the tent city here, our hosts have created a fantastic venue.
They have indeed. Now, Daria down at the bottom. That was very quick, but Daria down at number 6. Yes, you're right about the hosts. It's a good comp. You know, every need is catered for.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, with so many of these type of comps, they're happening in cities, and so there's hotels and all these kind of things. You know, the Saudi Arabian hosts have literally created a hotel in the desert for us. and they've done everything from scratch. Half of the village is their athletes and technical officials and stuff, and the other half is just the people who are here to make it happen. And so it's pretty impressive.
That's a good job. Right, Agnese, who was very impressive on boulder number 1,
and I think
equally impressive here.
Impressive on boulder number 2 as well, yes.
And this is where we really could see a shock on the leaderboard. You know, if she can get this done, suddenly you start thinking about finals place.
Yeah, if she gets this top and has a good look at boulder number 3, I mean, right now 2 tops in a zone is the leaderboard, is number 6 on the leaderboard, I believe. So
Abby, well, look, as again speed climber, that jump made it look completely different. Yeah. And this one too could be interesting, but that's more coordination style.
Yeah, yeah, that getting that jumping horizontal and then changing to an upward direction. I mean, speed climbers usually just go in one direction.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's our
There's
DJ.
our DJ.
I think his name is Charlie, and he's
Charlie.
The camera is rarely on that man, and yet he has not stopped dancing.
He has not stopped dancing. He is just all in.
he is, to be fair, on the screen in the stadium, so there's a reason for him to be dancing.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is what we were talking about. Agnese, if she can get this, I'm going to rethink this, our top 6, because this is awesome from her.
There we go, and with the top, Agnese from Italy dropping down.
Time
2
to change
tops
disciplines.
and a really, really good chance at a 3rd top. So this could be an upset on the leaderboard, which is really exciting.
It is, isn't it? Imagine coming to the desert to be a speed climber and then suddenly get into a boulder finals. That'd be awesome. What a story.
Who knows? She might just quit speed climbing and become a boulderer. No, I doubt it, but
maybe.
You never know.
Team Italy somewhere is hating you, James. They're like, would he be quiet?
Well, you know, it's so funny with the Paris Olympics and then to the Japan Olympics changing the other way around. Japan Olympics and then to the Paris Olympics changing the format. You know, with Japan, everything being one sport, and really highlighting for us the difference between boulders and speed climbers and lead climbers and speed climbers.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think a much better choice in the Paris Olympics to spread out 2 medals. I think for the next Olympics, if they're listening to me right now, 3 medals would be lovely.
Yes. I mean, what you're talking about is less of a choice and more necessity, because we only get a certain amount of medals from the IOC, and hard decisions have to be made.
Absolutely.
But yes, it's certainly in the conversation.
Well, if it's a choice between seeing the sport in the Olympics and having the right amount of medals, I'd rather just see the sport.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And that was kind of what the decision was. But yes, as we progress forward, the decision won't be made for a year or so, but it's certainly in the conversation, which is great, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so boulder number 4 is
Alice.
toughie. Yeah, and Alice is on it.
I was having a chat with another one of the speed climbers from South Africa who was in the Olympics this past year, and she asked if she had a thought about jumping in on the boulder, and she had also had a similar thought about it, but she just was looking at her fingers going, I haven't crimped anything in 6 months. I'm all about jugs and smearing the wall. That's all I do. So,
yeah, we keep talking about speed. If you are waiting for that comp, it will be on Wednesday evening Saudi Arabian time. So that's kind of mid-afternoon Central European time on Wednesday. Our drone pans in once more, and our hotel come glamping in the desert.
Very nice from Abby.
Super smooth, eh?
Super smooth. And from the last 4 or 5 athletes we've watched on this boulder, where she's really getting it right is she's using both of her legs.
Come on, Bengalis.
Yes, these speed climbers.
Okay, having a look at the paddle.
Do go and follow some speed climbers' Instagrams, because a lot of them show their gym routine, and it's so different from boulders and lead climbers. They're jumping, they're doing squats with weights, they're jumping with weights, and therefore jumps like this, it kind of plays into their strengths.
It does, yeah.
She joined the top 6.
All those power squats are paying off.
Yes, exactly. I have been honest. I think I've done 1 squat in my entire life.
Come on, Amy.
Not a squat fan.
No?
No. I'm old. My knees hurt.
Yeah.
I ski, so I should.
You probably should.
I should.
What kind of skiing do you do?
Scariest possible.
Come on.
Oh, good.
Come on, Amy, come on.
All right, so let's see if she can get this jump done this time. Up she goes.
All right, having even a better look at the paddle. I mean, now she's out of time, but constantly progressing through.
Well, good work. We'll have our rotation, and we'll see our replay.
Yeah, I was admiring Abby's start there, and then having a good go at that paddle. Again, for a speed climber, that lateral move would be weird, I think. Tamara and Amina back out on the mat. Amina for the last time.
4 minutes and 45 seconds now, and problem number 3 for Tamara Urdabayeva.
A nice wave from Tamara Uljabayeva of Kazakhstan.
Yalla, okay, easy.
The height.
You know what? I didn't see this time.
I don't mean to keep bringing it up, but when you saw when she's standing on the mats where her head was relative to the boulders compared to the last 3 athletes who were in the same spot, her height is definitely going to play a factor here for her.
And she's strong.
Don't know if I'm supposed to say it in the live stream, but Matt's just popped off the bathroom, left me to my own devices, so. Oh, he's back.
I'm back. Right, into the press. Now, this is where we were both talking about her being potentially good at this boulder.
Yeah, so she's gone for a face-in start, which we were talking earlier about the face-in kind of being not possible, but you know, with her height, the face-in was quite possible. She just did it.
Yeah.
And now she's turned around to face out. So questionable whether she should bother with the face-in, but she can do it. And so this jump now well within her reach. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, good work. Flinging herself up towards that jug, but it's this next paddle dyno thing. And the jump will be in her wheelhouse, but she won't have been practicing paddle dynos.
No, and we've only seen 2 tops. One with the paddle dyno and one with a heel hook, which she's going for. Oh, maybe she's not.
I think the heel hook requires some strong bouldering strength.
The heel hook, crazy shoulder strength, pressing over. She can definitely reach the hold, and she knows she can reach the hold. Having not practiced a lot of that dynamic bouldering lately and the paddles and things like that, it might escape her for a minute or 2, the beta needed.
Yeah, she's got to remember, got that technique to do it. So finishing things off from Mongolia is Amina, who's this starting position is so much core required.
And the reach for her leg is quite far.
And it's one of those moments as an athlete, you kind of want to disappear into the floor because, you know, everyone is watching you. You can't, you know what to do, you just can't do it, and it's challenging. But I do think it's good to struggle like that sometimes, you know, to have a bit of adversity in there.
I agree.
He says sitting in a commentary box. But,
you know, you learn more from failures sometimes than you do from successes. Yeah. And I've said it before with other teams I've coached. You know, I used to coach rugby, and I would so much rather get my teams against teams that are in a higher bracket, teams that were better than them, because they're going to learn so much more losing to a really good team than they will winning against a team that is not as good as them. So for these athletes coming and, you know, falling off of a really hard boulder, they can learn a lot.
Amazing abilities in
yes, exactly. And again, it's something to take home. And you talked a lot yesterday about learning different settings, you know, to take to your gym, and this is what they can do as well.
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of the people here are route setters. You know, the guys from Guam, Noah Benez, who competed yesterday, he is a gym owner, coach, route setter, and athlete for Guam. And so, you know, days like this for him are invaluable.
And I think Noah will be joining me in the finals for tonight, so do come and tune into that if you'd like to hear more from Noah.
Amina's left the mats. Not going to be worth her skin to keep pushing on that boulder. Tamara still with us.
Yeah, Tamara in this position. She took a deep breath before going in. She's got 43 seconds. Can she find some magic here?
And going for a little handcuff maneuver to get closer over so she can do the one-hand dyno.
I like handcuff maneuver. I haven't used that one. Good terminology, that. Oh, she's going to say goodbye as well. 27 seconds left on the clock, but she will leave us, walking into the sun momentarily, and it is just kissing the edge of the stage now. But of course, the wall is sheltered. Let's watch this again. What was the twist in?
She'll be back with us in a minute, or 4 minutes, all on her own. The only athlete left on boulder number 4. That's got to be nerve-wracking as well, being at the end of the rotation.
Oh, yeah, exactly. All right, well, the scores are pretty set now, we think. So Daria, the last one to get into the finals, and then everyone else, who I would have thought, Margarita, though, very impressive, beating Mao, beating Genya to make it into that second place spot, and everyone else getting tops on the first climb, or most people anyway, but after that, the difficulty ramping up a bit.
Yeah, the only way to see an upset in the leaderboard now would be for Agnese to top boulder number 3.
Yes, and let's see if she can do this, because it would be very cool for the story if she can.
Although, actually, I should say, if Abby can top boulder number 4, that would also upset the leaderboard.
Yes.
Boulder number 4 is pretty...
yes, I think realistically...
Yeah, I think we've established that we won't see a top on boulder number 4 today.
Yeah. But this lady, let's keep an eye on her, because I want to see if she can jump. Agnese gets herself set for the first one. Easy. Almost staticked her way into that move. And starts this swing.
Whoa,
it's not bad.
really
now, trying to stop, though,
attempt.
on that hold is kind of the wrong idea. I mean, it'd be impressive if she can. If she was someone like Yanya, for example.
Just stop on any hold.
Yeah, if you really can stop on any hold.
Yeah.
But a hold like that is designed to be moved through.
It is, yeah. So the paddle maneuver is really, really necessary there. I mean, who knows? Like Margarita proving us wrong, going for the heel hook and the press over. Anything's possible. Yeah, but for a speed climber, that paddle maneuver should be her strength.
Yes.
Now
it's worth trying to stop and see, but let's see if she attempts it again. She did come close, so she might have another go.
Come on.
But she looks like she's driving a bit more power up. Yeah, you can see the thinking there.
Yeah, she's got the idea.
Look at the time. Yeah, 3 minutes and 30
if you're
seconds left.
completely new to climbing, then words like paddle dyno might confuse you, but what we're talking about is when you're sort of, how do I describe it? I've started this, I don't know how to describe it. You're moving your hands quickly through the holes, you're kind of hitting them.
So as opposed to actually grabbing them, you're just pressing onto them with the hand momentarily just to continue the momentum to move the next hand up, press on the next one. So a lot of paddle moves, 2 intermediate holds, and then the hold you're going for.
Exactly.
So you're slap, slap, grab.
And there's levels to it, because you can have direction changes amongst that as well, as we saw in the men's competition yesterday. So it's complex.
Yeah, when you're scrolling through Instagram, you see a lot of people setting things in gyms just for those kind of, you know, paddle over, swing into a direction change, paddle back over, and go up.
Yes.
You know, route setters are getting really creative these days.
Yes, they are. It's kind of called new school style setting, and there are some athletes who are very good at it. Let's see what she can do. I'll tell you what, though, she's changing it up. She almost did it kind of statically once more.
Yeah, and I mean, it's worth pointing out, every attempt she's gotten a stage further. And with 2 minutes to go, we could be seeing a top on boulder number 3, which is really exciting.
Has got time. Meanwhile, though, down on the far right, Abby was gesturing, showing her hands. I think Skin and Sweat is coming.
Beautiful earrings. Those are not necessary part of the uniform, but it's a nice addition.
Maybe the solo one with Agnese.
Okay, so 2 women on the mats, 2 boulders done. We won't see them again, and so the last time we'll see boulder 2. Sorry, boulder 3. So this one here.
Yeah, that's
come on, 1 minute 58 on the clock. Can she pull something special out here? She's cruising this first move.
Yeah, that first move, she's got down pat, no stress.
Yeah. She made progress before. She's going to get further. Yes, she is.
Yes, she is. So now just a matter of on that second left hand, or that left hand, moving that right hand up and straight onto the final hole.
Yeah, one last pull needed, and that could change our leaderboard. We'll see. That was how I would rest now, gain something back, maybe wait until about a minute before going again.
It's not a terribly time-consuming boulder, so even with a minute to go, 2 or 3 attempts even could fit in the time frame.
And Abby with a big smile looking down at her fingers, which I would imagine are getting a bit thin in terms of skin out there. Agnese goes with about a minute to go here.
1 minute. Let's go again.
She finds something here. She was close. Needs one more move on this. 1, 2.
And there it is. Beautiful. And that's a change in the leaderboard, just like that.
That is amazing. We'll wait and see confirmation of that. But yes, things might have switched around.
Reach the final spot now. And she takes the place with
really, really unusual to see the last athlete out on the mats changing the leaderboard like that, but really exciting.
Well, we'll get a leaderboard after this, so we'll be able to check those scores and find out what happens, just to confirm it, because we'll wait for the judges to input those scores. But meanwhile, with 30 seconds to go, she's got the first move down here, easy.
Yeah, she has. And I mean, good on her, like, just going for it. Keep trying, keep trying. I think that'll be the end for her there.
I think so, yep.
Oh no, she's going one more.
fair play.
The local announcer even said, I think she's done, and she looked at him, no, one more. Why not, right? And go out with a barrel roll.
Exactly, good training. Well, she is done, and let's have a look at these results in a minute, because this is important. Agnese, can she make her way into the top 6?
Not just top 6, top 3.
Look at that. So up to 3rd position, the speed climber gets beats Mao, beats Jenya, beats Evangelina.
Yeah.
Incredible. But does shove Daria out of that
Daria.
top 6.
And sad for Daria, you know, a little bit of bias for me. Evangelina in the top 6. I'm really excited. Good to see a Canadian in there.
You're allowed to be biased, it's fine. I'll stay neutral for us.
Yeah, you can be the neutral party.
Exactly. Right, second to last athlete out on Boulder Four, Tamara. And I have a feeling this might be a bit of a battle for her.
Number 4 for
It's a very steep boulder. This wall, I think about 60 degrees through the roof, and the setters have not been kind in terms of the holds.
No, they haven't. They've really made it tight and crimpy. And I mean, when you're talking about a 60-degree overhang, it's hard to be kind in a 60-degree overhang. I don't think you could put massive jugs there, and I probably couldn't make it through.
A little harder when with this inclination. Sorry for our speed.
All right, well, she's underway anyway. 4 minutes on the clock.
But she's doing great. Let's go, Tamara. Look at the body position, very strong in this compression. Come on, Tamara.
Here she goes. Now, I tell you what, she's done the first move quite well here. Flicks the legs through. This is brilliant. Every time we say something, James, they prove us wrong, which is brilliant to see.
I do love it. And I mean, we're talking, if I'm not mistaken, she's also a speed climber tomorrow.
Yes, she is.
Right, yeah. So we're talking about speed climbers coming out who just might have a different idea.
Yeah.
You know, different way of looking at it.
That's true, yeah. Because you can get set, but this move is hard. She's got the toe hook. Oh, that shoulder move would be savage if she pulls that one off. She did change her mind. She really wants to bump all the way through to the second yellow EP
We know that
hold.
we have the entire team of Kazakhstan winners. Really good job.
And I don't think she knows, but she doesn't realize how much progress she made there. Some athletes could not pull off the ground onto that first move.
Yeah, she's actually having a really good go at this boulder.
There is a lot of different kind of difficulties in the problem number 1, of course.
Yeah, the MC just said it, different kind of difficulty on this boulder. Yes, it's a completely different style, and we've seen everyone struggle on it throughout the competition. Less than 3 minutes, though, to unlock something, and she'll want to rest here for a while. She was hanging around in the middle of that wall for a long time. Oh, the wind really picks up here in the stadium, whipping some dust into the air, just to add to some drama. Yeah, the wall is regularly cleaned and hoovered, especially before the finals tonight, just to ensure none of this sand gets onto the holes. Not what you want.
Going down like this.
Yeah, the weather conditions in the desert are pretty dramatic. From baking hot in the middle of the day, freezing cold at night, that wind that comes in and spirals up dust into the air. It's very unique.
Don't forget to register.
She's still resting. This is a replay of the move. Now, she got the toe hooks in nicely, or the toes in. Those are the nasty crimps she's on.
What is your team for tomorrow?
It's a battle so hard to get this.
Yeah, the tongue sticking out. It's that same look we've seen on a lot of the athletes. That smile of like, this is just hard.
Amazing.
You know, if you ever do come to Cambodia, Matt, this red dust you see around in the camera right now, Cambodia actually has a lot of red dirt as well.
Okay.
And a lot of sandy dirt roads and stuff like that. So I'll have to teach you. I'll have to get you on a motorbike. I'll have to teach you how to handle the sand.
That sounds good. I've driven a fair amount of bikes. I might have crashed a few in my time, I will be honest.
Well, you can borrow mine. Mine is not in too good shape. So.
Thank you very much. I like how this my holiday has basically been set up during a live stream. This is wonderful.
Oh, goodness, man.
I mean,
we also guide outdoor trips and stuff like that. Like, I'm going to take you all over the place.
That's brilliant.
Team Kazakhstan, let's go.
Right, coming up to minute 15 left on the clock here. 2 toes in to start with, and then keeps the left toe locked. Just bumps the left hand into that crimp.
Now 10 toes in.
10
She's
toes.
a big stepper.
Yeah, but I think the energy has gone here.
Yeah, with a minute to go, she's calling it.
Yeah, she gave it everything on that first go, and not leaving a lot left in the tank.
I don't blame her for calling it with a minute to go at all. Oh wait, is she calling it? Maybe not. Maybe she changed her mind.
Well, she
looked like she was
call
calling
it, yeah.
But then she turned around, looked at it again, shook out her shoulders. Okay, why not?
She does have a speed comp tomorrow, so please don't burn all that energy, but she's going to go again.
Let's
Toes
go,
in.
Tom.
Oh, she's got like a whole
30
24
seconds.
hours to regrow that
And
stuff.
one. Let's go.
Easy stuff.
Perfect.
Oh,
Perfect.
just
Come on,
swinging
Tom.
around those legs, kicking in the air.
Allez, allez.
No,
Oh,
now
she
she's
gave
done, I
everything in
think.
this
There we go.
qualifying round. Well done, Tamara. It was a pleasure.
Well, everyone, we've reached
to
the
have you
final athlete,
with us this
Agnese,
morning.
who got herself into a
If you want
podium
to
with a
see
brilliant top of
Tamara
boulder number
climbing
3
again,
will
it's
be
gonna be
next.
two
But
more.
first of all, watch some highlights, I think, of that. And then the stage will be cleared and reset for tonight's finals. That comes at later on this evening here. And the men's is available to watch, I think, for free on YouTube and the Olympic channel as well.
It is. A lot of people have watched it. Kei Chun Tao from Malaysia last night being in the finals. I actually got a bunch of texts from my Malaysian friends being like, James, are you announcing on IFSC right now? Yes, yeah, I am, because they were all watching Chun Tao go to the finals, which was a great result for him.
Yeah, it really was. He did really well last night. Go and watch that.
Agnese having a good look here.
Well, let's see. I mean, look, this is not a jumpy boulder. It's a different style.
We have the ranking on the screen, and she's
Wow, is she
third.
good.
She's
Because
strong.
she did, and she's only 3 athletes who did this problem number
Cruising
3, so
through.
she
Oh
collects
my goodness.
a lot of points on this
Like this could,
qualifying round. Now
I mean, I don't want to call anything. I don't want to jinx anything. But this could change the leaderboard entirely. Like she could come out in first position.
If she
Look
gets
at her,
zone here,
look
yeah,
at
she gets
her.
zone here.
I let
Yeah.
you come on this menu. You're oh.
I may be wrong, but I think that
She's
just put her
the
in first
surprise
place.
of today. Come on, Agnese.
Unreal here. I wonder if she planned to do this comp or it was a last-minute decision. We're going to have to chat to her and find out.
She definitely worth interviewing her.
She deserves applause. She took the zone.
Right,
so
well,
10
that's
more
whatever
points for
happens
Agnese
in
Furio.
this next few minutes doesn't really matter because that zone is huge for her. Brilliant stuff.
So she's second. Tight second. Yeah, she's second.
Yeah, just remember though, although we keep talking about the finalists who got it
95
through, there is an
points.
appeals process, and although I haven't been told about any appeals, you never know. So
And
just be aware that things might change after this broadcast.
Yeah, I can't picture any appeals that would matter. You know, Daria, same amount of tops and zones, but with one more attempt than Evangelina Briggs. So pretty close there, but I don't think there were any questionable calls.
No, I agree, and I mean a group they should tell me, but I just always like to remind people just in case.
It is a surprise for me, to be honest. I only see her competing in speed. She's a
the MC has just mirrored what we've just said, which is we've only seen her compete in speed. It is a surprise.
Yeah,
performance. This replay of her moves to the zone, pretty incredible. And she goes again with 3 minutes on the clock. She made this section look effortless on her first attempt. And she is again.
And if she gets through the zone on this one, I mean, we could be looking at a really good attempt at the top here. But it's so much power, so much work getting through that bottom section. Having gotten through it once already, I wouldn't be surprised if she can't make it through again just for exhaustion.
I would agree, and you know, this is not what she's been training. You know, endurance in terms of boulder problems and finger strength is not where she's at. So just getting that zone on that first go was so important. Well, she will, of course, have another go with 2 minutes left, but I think she'll rest for quite a while here. You can see the energy not quite there on that time. Banging a ham on the way down as well. Yeah. Well, she stands just in the shadows here on the boulder mat. Avoiding that heat. You can see the flags whipping in the background. That's the breeze that has cooled everyone this morning.
And that lovely big sandstone boulder off to the back there, which I have not yet gone and had a closer look at, but I want to.
I just want to remind you, you are not allowed to climb those boulders, James.
Well, I just want to look at it now.
Right, I see, I see. That's very. If I went and looked at a boulder, I think I'd be climbing it.
Despite what everyone thinks, I can follow the rules.
I don't think I can, which is why I'm not looking at the boulder.
That's right. You just stay within the tent walls.
Exactly. I get far too tempted. Right, she goes once more. Has she rested enough, though? I don't know. Oh, that toe saved her on the right.
But you can see that
she's going to get up to the zone again. Wow.
She's moving a lot.
Right
Come
toe
on,
in.
come on, Agnese, let's go.
This is so cool. Come on.
Yeah, I mean,
Come on, NEOM, this is the last
allez,
game of this
allez.
morning before tonight's
A lot of the
final.
top
Let's go,
6 have
Anthony,
left the
let's
arena, you know.
go.
They are going to be looking at their phones at the update score
Yes,
going,
they
what
will.
happened?
I don't know how to say allez in Italian, but I wish I did. I'm so impressive. She's heading off the mat. Like, really exciting to see an athlete of her strength and caliber saying, hey, you know, I'm here for a speed climbing comp, but why not? Let's get some bouldering in. And just mixing up the leaderboard just like that.
Exactly. Well, the cat is amongst the pigeons. We will wait and see later on. That's our top 6. Agathe leading the way. Margarita, Agnese, wow. Mao, Genia, Evangelina. They will be our top 6 later on. Daria just pushed out by 1 point from that top 6. And then the rest of the athletes following after that. And fair play to everyone for giving it a good shot. Great to see speed climbers. But Agnese, the story of the qualifying round.
Absolutely. And I'm going to have to be getting off here in a second, and I thank you so much for the opportunity, Matt, to talk up the Cambodian program. And, you know, as I've said a couple of times now, there's so many teams here, El Salvador and Bolivia and Mongolia, who have up-and-coming programs, and they're really worth looking into. They're really worth investing in, I think, for some of those bigger countries. You asked about our crowdfunding campaign for a training facility for the athletes in Siem Reap. We also, just worth mentioning, we have partners in Canada and Switzerland and Japan who have the ability to, if bank transferring into the Kamai Care platform is too difficult, we have a few NGOs in those countries who can also transfer money.
Brilliant. Well,
on
thank
your
you
behalf.
so much, James. It's an absolute pleasure talking to you. And we will start to wrap things up now as we look towards this evening. That wall will be climbed on, I would imagine, and then later on this evening there will be a reset with our unique finals format. 4 boulders on the wall, 2 2-minute slots per boulder, and then an elimination before the final climb where the athletes will get knocked out, or some of them will. Only some will progress before we find out our second podium. And I think we're waiting for some interviews down at the front. I think that is the plan, because I can see Agathe waiting in the shade there, hiding from the sun. And I'm pretty sure we were going to go and find her for a little chat, our current leader of the competition, who is on form at the moment. Fantastic at the European Champs, finals at World Cups. And yeah, Agathe is just being prepared. And James, if you want to head off to lunch, mate, you go, don't worry. But thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Matt. I
Thank
really
you,
appreciate it.
See you later. Well, we'll wait for Agathe, who is almost ready, I think, as our camera shows us the incredible vista of the desert that we are surrounded by. And that is our boulder wall that was in action. Lead on the left-hand side. That's coming in Wednesday. Right, we found Agathe, so let's go down to the front and talk with her, shall we?
And we are with Agathe Callier, Team France right now. So far, she's leading the way of this qualifying round. You ended at the first position. You were a bronze medalist last year, and today you're back in NEOM. How did you enjoy this first round, Agathe?
It was nice. I really enjoyed it. The boulders were nice, especially the third one. And yeah, great atmosphere with everyone, and I'm happy to be here with the sun and everything.
It was a good climb this morning. It's not too hard to climb at 9:30 in the morning.
Yes, it was a bit hard to like wake up and everything. It was really early. Even like warming up, I was not feeling so good. But after, when you are on the mat, you just have to climb. So I climbed and that's it.
Yeah, you did the job. It was a really good job. We can't wait to see you tonight, and we can't wait to see what will happen in this final. What's the plan for today now?
So now I'm going to rest, and then I'm going to climb in the finals, and I can't wait to see the boulders and like to see the show, and it's going to be really great. So
Thank you very much, Agathe. See you tonight.
Well, thank you to Agathe. Great to hear from our current leader of the competition. She'll go back, rest, eat, and we will, of course, reset for our next round later on. I think we're going to hear from some more athletes in a minute as well, which should be great to see. But we'll wait for that as we just get another shot of our incredible stadium here down in the desert. Really lovely to see it. Okay, well, we're going to find Agnese, who's been found down at the front. Let's go to her.
We are with Agnese Fiorio, Team Italia, who ended at the second position of this qualifying round in Boulder. Agnese, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're a specialist in speed climbing.
Yes, I am. But they asked me if I wanted to do also the Boulder comp, and since I really love Boulder, I said yes.
We reckon this. We've seen you climbing in this problem. You did amazing job, especially in this problem number 3. What are the abilities you can transfer from speed to Boulder?
Maybe agility in general, but yeah, I was surprised too. I didn't think I was going to do it.
Well, you did amazing job, so now I think it's time to rest and to be ready for tonight's final. Will it be your first final in bouldering?
Yeah, it will. I'm so psyched. Yeah, I didn't expect it at all.
Congrats again. Thank you very much, Agnese. Can't wait to see you tonight.
Thank you.
Well, there you go. Yes, the speed climber turns boulderer, and what a performance from her. I think unexpected for everyone, but having chatted to her in the past, you know, it's not that she hasn't done it before, she's just specialised in speed now, so she has the pedigree. Right, we're going to say goodbye to you now. We'll be back for the final. 6 women will be competing for gold in the deserts of Saudi Arabia. We will see you then. Have a wonderful afternoon.